Good morning, my friends. It's Monday morning, and we're back in the cave.
Don't you know I'm walking away now?
Kicking off with this one from AJ and Mabel, under the name of West 10, the old Ladbroke Grove follow-up. There is a live review of this one on the channel, if you want to check that one out. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back. Very eventful weekend. There's loads of stuff for us to talk about. We're going to be getting into all of that in just a second, as well as talking through today's guests. But for now, let's get into this one. Don't go anywhere.
Big beast when it comes to the lyrics. Me, I do this thing on the mic with no gimmicks. Came a long way, I was serving in those civics, and you were trying to keep me from winning, but I did it. Ask about me, I did it. Let man stay on my sofa, I did it. Busting my watch and my choker, I did it. I kept a straight face in this poker, I did it. Look, rest assured, man's got you. If life's weighing you down, then I'll spot you. Water you, show you sun, never block you. If no one's backing your beef, then I've got to. Yeah, back your beef, that's my job. Just ride for me, don't write off. I got your back hold tight when you climb on. I've always been a real to rely on.
Don't you know I'm walking away? Now I'm in my own space. Baby, you know I ain't waiting for you. And if you don't want me to stay, only one thing to say. Baby, you know I ain't waiting for you.
Ask about me, I did it. Let man stay on my sofa, I did it. Lost in my watch and my choker, I did it. I kept a straight face in this poker, I did it.
Sounds of AJ and Mabel on this one.
Lost in my watch and my choker, I did it.
As I said, there is a live cub reacts to this one, if you want to go and check that out.
I'm live and direct me.
After the show, of course.
Touch one of mine on God, I'm a ride. I win and break bread for my fam, I provide. 8-piece, AP, come and get me. Set beast, curl it in from a set piece.
As always, out to my locked-in crew, please do let us know where you're locking in from
Brekky, easy money.
and how your weekend was. We're going to be getting into all of that in just a second.
DC, you know me, done shows in DC, NYC, drop my top like page 3. Cool rays match the London sky. Barbell, cruise like a 4-wheel drive. Take time when I'm on a mic, it's live and pressure makes diamonds, try me, I'll thrive.
Told you I ain't tryna wait no more. Yeah, I've been on you, but that don't mean I'm always yours. Boy listen, cause it doesn't add up, something's missing. And I finally switch your position. Might be somebody new that I'm kissing, yeah. Saying that I'm out of line, but you don't know about me. And maybe if you took the time, then you would know what I need. Don't know what you came here for. Watch me walking out the door. It's over now, big buying girls ain't waiting for your love no more.
Sounds of AJ Tracy and Mabel on that one. As I was saying, we are live on Brekky In The Cave. Welcome back to Cubcam TV, and I'm looking forward to having a fun show this morning. Should be a very good one indeed. There we go. Click the wrong button, but that's fine. That's how we do things. Out to everyone locking in this morning. We do have a fantastic show on the way. Two very special guests, and we've got loads of news to discuss as well. Let's get into the guests first, shall we? So, from around 10:30ish, we're going to be on the line with man like MoJoe, who was on the show earlier in the year. For some reason, the video got taken down. Primarily, I believe, due to I think I played a tune that I wasn't meant to play on YouTube or something along those lines. Something to do with copyright. So we've got him back on, and we're going to be talking about his new projects that are on the way, how everything's been going with Chameleon, with lockdown taking place and everything like that. So it should be a good conversation. Following that as well, we are going to be talking to Stiege, someone who I have, without him knowing, done mixing and mastering for. So that's going to be a surprise when he comes up and talks about that. But we're going to be talking about grime in general, his upcoming projects, and just things that are going on right about now, man. Should be a very enjoyable one indeed. News-wise, we are going to be getting into obviously looking at this 1.52 billion for artistic ventures, which apparently the old government, those rascals, they've gone and pledged it. So therefore there is 1.52 billion heading into the UK nightlife and artistic economy, which is good. That's good. I'm hoping it's going to be spent in the right place and it doesn't all go on specifically I don't know, refurnishing Royal Albert Hall or something like that. I hope it is going to be dispersed to the places that actually need it, rather than these sort of pinnacles of I want to say more essentially upper class culture. You know, I want to make sure that clubs and places like, for instance, Patton's in Brighton. I'm really hoping Patton's in Brighton gets a bit of a boost because it's my favourite place in the world. Like, I you know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to just be, oh well, this theatre we once went to. That's the most important thing to save. No, it's not. It's venues in general across the board that need to be saved, I believe, because I can't really see them paying out to DJs. You know, I can't really see them putting like hundreds and hundreds of pounds into DJs to make their lives a bit easier. Can't see that happening for some reason. But there we go. Out to the red eye gang this morning. Of course, it is a Monday. My eyes are always bright red on a Monday morning because I never sleep really on a Sunday. I'm on a bit of a 2-day hangover as well. Saturday was a bit of a madness. Don't worry, I didn't go to a pub. I didn't go and have a madness. I went to a friend's house and we had a socially distanced gathering for the first time in 4 months. But yeah, drank way too much, clearly. Out to the locked in crew, as per, please do let us know where you're locking in from. And if you are locked in, I'm asking you one favor right now. Please do press that like button. It takes less than a second to do. If you are new to the channel as well, please make sure you are hitting that subscribe button down there. As you can see, we want to grow. We want to grow. I can safely say over the course of the past week, we actually went up 70 subs. We went up from 500 to 570. So now the plan, obviously, is to hit 600 by the end of this week. That's the plan. So please do share the stream, share it onto your feeds. Obviously, hit the subscribe button if you're a new listener. Throw a like on the video as well, because it does take less than a second to do. Like I would do it if someone asked me. I would like a video. But there we go. Yeah, news-wise, there are a couple of other bits we're going to be getting into as well. For the time being, though, I do want to let you know about what's going on in our telly in the top right-hand corner. As you can see, you can follow me on socials. That is on Instagram, Facebook, as well as Twitter, and, of course, SoundCloud. All of those are going to be at KXVU, as you can see in the top right-hand corner there. You can check out the show, of course, via the podcast. If you prefer just listening to the audio and the interview sections of this show, you can check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and, of course, SoundCloud as well. Just search Breakfast with KXVU, the interviews. And a quick word from our sponsor, Sharpen Digital, the SEO experts, as I call them. They've really helped this channel grow and reach a lot of extra people. So if you wanted to get in contact with them, please do. The alternative to hiring social media managers, I couldn't recommend them high enough. But yeah, I can see everyone in the chat. I can see everyone in who's listening right about now. I can see the numbers. So if you are locked in, send us a signal. Let us know where you're locked in from. Let us know who you're looking forward to listening to. And as well as that, throw that like on the video, man. Makes a massive difference, and I would be eternally grateful. Out to WT4Y, as per, regular on the show. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I love about doing this show at the minute? We've got regulars. There you are. That one's for WT4Y. But yeah, there's loads of stuff for us to get into, so we are going to crack on now with a banger. This one, a very interesting tune from Beanie Man. Now, if you know about Beanie Man, you'll know he is an absolute dancehall legend. It's quite difficult to not know about Beanie Man. Now, this tune originally was I believe it's a Yellow Man dub, the original version of this. I may be wrong. I may be very wrong, and I may have just absolutely butchered it. But this is his version of Zunga 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 Zeng. That's what it's called. Don't question me on it, because I may well have said it wrong, because I can't really... You know what it is? Zunga 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 Zeng. Out to WT4Y saying I shouldn't be here, but I'm procrastinating. Yes, you should be here, sir. You are more than welcome here. This is where you belong, in the mornings. Out to Tubbs saying the Scouts crew, Chameleon gang. Out to everyone out that way. Yeah, out to everyone locking in, man. I love seeing the fact that there are multiple people from different areas of the country locking into the show these days. I think we've got a few fans in South Africa. We've got a few fans in Australia as well. I look over the analytics for the channel quite regularly, to be honest with you, and I see the maddest one is how many American listeners we get. That's a madness to me. Out to WT4Y saying, hi, do a Brekky In The Cave, fire in the booth. I would love to. And I won't lie, if you go over onto the channel, there is a series called Cave Sessions. We got one in before lockdown was done, from Duke Sky, and it is essentially a very similar thing. Out to a man like Stuart McDougall. That's my dad. Morning, Dad. How are you? Man like Papa D in a building. Let's crack on then. Let's crack on with some bangers. This one coming from Beanie Man. Zunga 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 Zeng. Yeah, keep it locked. It's Brekky In The Cave. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Go on, my son.
Yeah. Prince can use your thing called Zunga Zunga Zeng. Sing by King Yellowman. Now sing by King Beanie. Do it, yeah. Sang dang digga digga dang 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 dang. Now one a name Zunga 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 Zeng. Yeah. Zunga 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 Zeng. Yeah. Zunga 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 Zeng. Yeah. Zungo, 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 zeng. Mr. Pouch in my shirt and trousers, and watch my girl them not them blouse and skirts. Man to woman to jaja that pleases. Me use my condom, me no want no diseases. When Mr. Pouch in the street, me expensive. All of my family them real, no insist. Tell my mommy we take care of the expenses. Give Selassie the praises. Yeah, I make all of the ladies. Yeah, for bring all of the babies. You see, so zungo 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 zeng, yeah. Zungo 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 zeng, yeah. Zungo 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 zeng, yeah. Zungo 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 zeng. Say if you have a phone, you must get a chip. And if you get a ticket, then you're gone on a trip. And if you get a rhythm, if you DJ lyrics. Now watch where them a say. Now watch the critics, and when me put on me boots, yeah. Ball I go kick, and if a drama you want, tune into Netflix. Miss a flu and miss a genge, me no need fix. Just send with a girl, like give me a proper fix. Don't tell them fools.
Tell you what, I love the original cut of this one. But Beanie Man's done a madness, I've got to say.
Zongo, 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 zeng, yeah. 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 Then your back and wine a jive. This a big man, this a no boy. This make you vibrate, this a no tie. This make you fat up like a Las Colasai. Girl, you ready for the baby boy. Girl, you a fi me hell enough try. The neighbor see her on the wall and climb. The nose neighbor.
That's enough of that one. I'm going to lose myself here. That's an absolute banger. Beanie Man, Zunga 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 Zeng. But it's difficult to say that quickly. Wow. Let's dive into some news then, shall we? Out to the locked in crew each and every time. I've just been told, yes, it was Yellow Man. Out to Papa D, bringing me my reggae knowledge in the morning. That's what I need, you see. We were speaking yesterday, me and Papa D, about when Trickstar's properly back open up and running. We're going to put a sound clash together. We're going to do old versus new. So pre-2005 versus post-2005. I'm doing post. He's doing pre. We're going to put together a bit of a clash. Should be quite a good one. But yeah, that's stuff that's on the way. Let's have a look at this then. News. Let's. How have I not even got a link to this? Let's go. Let's just jump onto the old BBC website, shall we? Because this is always where they're going to be going. 1.57 billion. In support for venues around the country. Let's have a look and bring this over here. So, the government has unveiled a 1.57 billion support package to help protect the futures of UK theatres, galleries, museums and other cultural venues. It says cultural, that doesn't say clubs, and it's already scary. Culture Secretary Oliver Dowden said to BBC Breakfast, new grants and loans aim to preserve crown jewels in the UK's arts sector as well as local venues. Oh, I don't know about this. It follows several weeks of pressure, with industry leaders warning that venues were on the brink of collapse. Independent cinemas, heritage sites, and music venues will also be eligible. What do you mean also be eligible? It's primarily for music venues. Oh, this is going to do my head in. Guidance for a phased return of performing arts, starting with performances behind closed doors and rehearsals, is expected to be published by the government shortly. Mr. Dowden said that the package is all new money and has two broad aims: to preserve the crown jewel venues like the Royal Albert Hall. What did I say? And national galleries, while also helping local institutions across the UK. I can't see it going to clubs. I really, really can't. That frustrates me. He said institutions applying for the new grants and loans through industry bodies would have to prove how they contribute to wider economic growth. So, if you've got a club that basically breaks even, yet is important to the culture, they're gonna turn around and say, well, you don't contribute to the wider economy. This is frustrating as anything. We saw this posted yesterday and went, wow, good stuff. And they're just saying, yeah, well, it's mainly for the Royal Albert Hall. Like, what? What did they say? To WT4Y saying, we asked for 50 mil. That's not a huge slice of that pie, though, so hopefully it'll be okay. Good point, to be fair. The UK economy has only... The UK dance music sector, essentially, and nightlife sector has said I think it was it was 51 or 53 mil they asked for. So, to be fair, this 1.57 billion is actually... That's a very good point, actually. That is a tiny slice of this, so maybe things will be okay. Who knows? Hopefully, anyway. A string of theatres have announced plans to make the staff redundant in recent weeks after being closed since the coronavirus pandemic took place earlier this year. Adrian Vinken, the chief executive of the Theatre Royal in Plymouth, said to BBC's Radio 4, it's impossible to say if the announcement will be enough to prevent 100 job losses until more detail is released. The announcement of the new funding comes just 2 days after theatres across the UK were covered in colourful messages of support. Like, I understand, theatres are great. Yeah, I'm fully with it. Theatres are almost the original nightlife venue. That's where so many things have happened. However, it's clubs now. It's clubs and venues and spaces. They're the things right now that are in serious need. Like, I'm surprised we haven't seen much more from places like Pirate, you know, because they even places like that, they're not venues, but they are centres that without the income of people coming in, they would close down normally, because rent's always expensive in the areas they go for, because they're always big buildings. Like, it's a stressful one more than anything else. I do hope that the money is going to be diverted accordingly, and that places that are struggling to keep the doors open without investment are able to actually be granted investment without it turning around and being without it being, oh well, you're not contributing to the wider economy, so you don't matter, because that's what I can see happening, and this what always seems to happen, and it does my nutting. I'm not going to talk anymore about politics because all it will do, there's a reason I used to have a no politics rule on this show, purely because I get frustrated and annoyed at the world, and I don't want to be frustrated and annoyed at the world with you guys. You know, you're here to enjoy a nice pleasant morning of discussion and new music. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to move into some new music next. This one coming to us from Juma alongside Fork and Knife alongside Juma. This one forthcoming on Cocobolo Sound this Friday, I believe. It's somewhat of an absolute banger. So we're going to get into it now. Out to my locked in crew, as per. If you are locked in, please do hit that like button on the video. It takes less than a minute to do, and of course throw a sub on the channel as well if you haven't already. You know what I'm saying? We're growing. We're at 570. We've gone up 70 this week. So if we can do that again and again and again and again and again, we will be at 1,000 within 6 weeks if we can do that. So that's the plan. Come on, guys, do me a favor, throw that like. Let's get the word out there. Keep it locked. Don't go anywhere. We're live on Brekky In The Cave, Trickstar Radio, and of course Cubcam TV.
Top spinning, shut down the show. Pepper on the beat, season the set. When I add a little heat, reel up the deck. Yeah, Lord of the dance. Can't catch soon as the music starts. Stepping on shoes in my Timberland boots. I be kicking and bruising, I'm moving past. They be like, oi, John's on a mad one again. Done there, damage on a rampage again. Unique, no it ain't like none of them. Truth be, I don't even like none of them.
I'm a fan of this one, I've got to say. Out to Juma and Fork and Knife on this one. Forthcoming Cocobolo Sound. Out to the exclusive gang. That's what you get when you come to this show, man. You get exclusive music here first. I love it. I love being the first person to play a tune. Out to WT4Y, just constantly bringing love to the channel. I love the fact that you're so active on this, sir. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. It's a man like Calm Stiege in the chat. We turn to him in a little while. Out to Chameleon Audio as well.
Coming out swinging, lost a new flow. Head top spinning, shut down the show. Pepper on the beat, season the set. Yeah, Lord of the dance. Can't catch soon as the music starts. Stepping on shoes in my Timberland boots. I be kicking and bruising, I'm moving past. They be like, oi, John's on a mad one again. Done there, damage on a rampage again. Unique, no it ain't like none of them. Truth be, I don't even like none of them. I got my OGs and my day ones and my cousins. Nothing but love for my brothers. Fork and knife on
a skippy, this one.
Jumma got bars in abundance, extra. Giving out more than a lot, shit hot. Man, I'm pulling out all of the stops. Expert, guess who's calling the shots? I'm a boss, I'm the one who put the ball on the spot. Then I kick it right out of the park like have it. Who's on what, who's really about it? I'm out here causing a racket. Chat shit like I done all of the packet. And that's why they call it a banger. Talk game with the gulliest grammar. I got the blueprint, I got the patent. I leave a soundboy dead when I patent it. And that's why they call it a banger. Talk game with the gulliest grammar. Got the blueprint, got the patent. I leave a soundboy dead when I patent it. Patent it, patent it, patent it. Yeah, patent it, patent it. I leave a soundboy dead when I patent it. Yeah, patent it, patent it, patent it, patent it. Yeah, patent it, patent it, patent it. I leave a soundboy dead when I patent it.
There we go. Sounds of Juma and Fork and Knife. Out to Murder He Wrote, messaging in saying this one is sick. Out to Murder He Wrote each and every time. He was on the show a couple of weeks ago. You can check it out after listening through this one. As I said before, you can check out every single show by looking at the podcast, as you can see in the top right-hand corner. Just search Breakfast with Kovu, the interviews on Spotify, SoundCloud, or Apple Music, and you'll be able to find all of the previous shows. We do, of course, also stream via Trickstar Radio as well. I'm going to be back in the building hopefully from the beginning of August. We're just making sure everything's safe. We're making sure things are done correctly and properly. We don't want to rush. We don't want to run back into a situation that could leave us in a worse situation than we currently are. So we're making sure we're doing things safely. There we go. Out to everyone locked in this morning. I'm going to jump into another bit of news because I love a bit of news. Love a bit of news. Okay, cool. It's looking like there is a socially distanced festival taking place in the UK. This looks juicy. Let's have a gulp of this one. So this is coming from DJ Mag. The UK's first socially distanced festival is scheduled to take place later this month. Gisborne Park Pop-Up will take place between July the 11th and August the 30th in Lancashire, UK, and is expected to welcome 24,000 guests over their 8-week schedule of events. It's a flipping long festival. 8 weeks! Madness. That's not right. 8 weeks. Yeah, it is 8 weeks. Wow. Alongside family activities like film screenings and food events, adult-only parties will be taking place each Friday and Saturday throughout July and August. Sounds a bit fun. With the likes of Jonas Blue, Sam Divine, and Shapeshifters all slated to perform on the banks of the river. Oh, very nice. After a summer of cancelled events, we wanted to deliver a unique, safe experience for people who enjoy outdoors with the Gisborne Park Pop-Up Festival. Robin Isherwood, events director and Gisborne Park Pop-Up manager, said there is something for everyone, from a socially distanced raving idea to big name DJs through to the movie nights and family fun in the heart of the northwest countryside. Oh, it sounds so cozy. Our guests, health and safety is the number one priority. We've ensured everyone can relax and enjoy the experience, safe in the knowledge that the strictest social distancing and hygiene measures are in place for all customers, staff and entertainers. Tickets for the event will go up on sale on this Saturday the 4th, and you can this is over a week old. My bad. I'm very late to this one. Sorry. They went up on Saturday. And you can find out more about the Gisborne Park Pop-Up and purchase tickets online. There we go. Out to DJ Mag supplying us with that news. Does anyone who's locked in right about now feel that realistically we need socially distanced festivals? Is that what we need right now? Is that what we as a raving folk, a raving peoples, is that what we need? Do we need socially distanced festivals? Is that what's going to cure our need for raving? I don't think it's the case. I find that the idea of a festival is very much designed to be about having as many people there as possible, and it being the mass that makes it such a surreal event. I've been to festivals that haven't had many people there, and it's just felt a little bit odd. I've been to festivals where there's been lots of people there, and it's felt fantastic. So I don't know if it's a case of it needs to be a case of whether is this actually going to satisfy the need for raving? Is this going to be the thing that actually satisfies and quenches that thirst to get into a dance again? WT4Y saying euphoric elbow bumping. That's what I'm talking about, my friend. Euphoric elbow bumping. And just for that, you know what? You're getting another one of them. You're on fire today, sir. Thanks for locking in. You're always a good one. Always a good one in the morning. That's what I like to see. But there we go. I'm not too sure about this, to be honest with you, man. As I said, I prefer a busy dance to an empty dance, and I think even if you get proper down with let's get proper into the vibe of the music and whatever, still if it's an empty club, I would prefer to play a busy club than an empty club every day of the week. There's just no two ways about it. I'd prefer to play an absolutely rammed out small club than a half full big club, even if it's the same amount of people, because obviously you want the experience to be a lot more encompassing and engulfing. But if you were to, I don't know, I just don't like the idea of having to rave and not be near anyone. To me, that just seems a little regressive, a little backward, and actually taking away from what the joys of raving actually are. Maybe that's it for me. But do if you are locked in, please let us know on your thoughts on this one in the chat. Let us know if you think a socially distanced festival will be fun more than anything else. I'm sure they'll handle the safety fine. I'm sure they'll have the general layout of things nice and tidy, and I'm sure they'll have the general layout of what's going on working very nicely and safely, and everyone will be okay. It's more the fact of will it be fun enough? And I think that's the question with a lot of these things. People are trying to essentially get back into the normality as soon as possible, but I don't think that normality is going to exist for a long period of time. Everyone wants to go raving again, yeah? Everyone wants to. I want to go raving again because I miss going raving. However, there's no point rushing into a scenario which isn't going to be fun. In my humble opinion, from this multi-billion pound studio that I own, that I call my room, that's what I think. I think there's no point rushing back to a scenario which isn't going to be what we think it is. But that's my opinion on things. As I said before, please do let us know in the chat if you have a differing opinion on it, or if you agree with me. I'd like to hear. You know, I think this is something that could be discussed, and I want to make sure this chat in this on this show is as interactive as possible. I think that's a really good way to be, if we can have loads of people discussing different things that are going on, and bring in me news as well, because it means I can actually discuss what you guys want to talk about more than anything else. So we're going to jump into a banger next, and I say it's a banger because I do wholeheartedly believe this to be a banger. I love a dub plate, me. I absolutely love a dub plate. It's something that I live for. I love getting specials of tunes. I love getting first plays of tunes. Just that exclusivity that comes from essentially system culture. It's something that I hold very, very dearly to me heart. So I've got this one. It's a very special dub from man like Vision Alexander. I've run it a few times on the show, but yeah, this one is my personal dub plate of Right Now, which did drop earlier this year, and we were supporting it very heavily on the show. If you want to have a little look at the conversation we had with Vision Alexander as well, you can check that out. I believe it's the pinned video on the Cubcam TV homepage right about now. I try to shuffle it up every now and then and put a different one on there, but I believe that is currently the video that's on the homepage, I believe, but I'm not entirely sure about that. But as I said before, please do keep subscribing to the channel. Throw a like on the video as well if you're locked in. It makes a huge difference to the video itself when people keep liking the video and people keep subbing to the channel, because it means we become a point of interest on YouTube and they push the video out to more people. So the more you get involved, the more people join in. It's that simple. It's like a conga. That's pretty much what it is. Out to WT4Y saying no point rushing it for the sake of it. It's like going to watch the hockey because it's open and football isn't. I get it. He said, weird analogy, but they're different, and the lack of physical interaction makes it different. Can change the vibe altogether. I really, really think with raving, it's all about the people as much as anything. It's about being around people doing the same thing. It's almost tribal in the sense that you're all looking at a DJ and following and doing the same thing. That for me is where the fun comes in. That tribalism. That's how you connect with what's going on, rather than just listening to sound loudly in a room, which is what this seems to be. Also, the amount of reverb you would get off the walls in half full clubs. Nah, not for me. Not for me. Not for me, my friends. Not for me at all. But yeah, let's get into this one coming from Vision Alexander, and then after this, we're going to be jumping onto the phone with man like MoJoe. We're going to be talking about Chameleon Audio and everything he has on the way, as well as new music. So yeah, let's get into this one.
You don't know, say Vision for the musical mission representing for Kovo Sound. You don't know, big up the UK family representing the big sound out of Brighton. Dub plate King, South Point, Boss Man, Kovo. You don't know. Yeah, man. You think England have bad dub plate round here, sir? Brighton.
Vision.
Hear me now.
What we say?
Kovo Sound, them sounding so good right now. But they sound in a Brighton town. Kovo Sound sounding good right now. If a boy test them, get burned down, burned down. Burned down, burned down, burned down. Any boy this them get burned down. Burned down, burned down, burned down. Kovo Indigo Sativa, hope say you reach ya. But on a heal up, me see you no cure enough asthma. Cover send it come, make sure it vacuum seal. Them dog and nose are good for smell out every reefer. Box the bus it I go kick like FIFA. Me I beg you rub it down with little ammonia. God forgive us for a sin and all a karma. Boy this cover, them I go end up dead now. Right now, right now, right now. Right now, right now, right now. Some sound boy are dead right now. Cover sound, sounding so good right now. But they sound in a Brighton town. Cover sound, sounding good right now. If a boy this them get burned down, burned down.
To the man like Vision Alexander on this one.
Burned down, burned down. Any sound this them get burned down. Bun down, bun down, bun down. When we kill them, we a kill them nice and slow. Cover tell me shout to come no more, no might not grow. So we take with time and kill the sound them real slow. Take with time and kill the sound them real slow. You can link around a Brighton for the high grade marijuana 24/7. You get the 7 for the 7. If you're regular, you might just get 11. One thing me tell you, cover pump it full of pebble. On upon a greatest reach with foot right now. But the sound in a Brighton town. Cover sounding so good right now. Any sound this them get gone down, bun down. Bun down, bun down, bun down. Some sound boy I get bun down. Bun down, bun down, bun down. Cover sound.
There we go, sounds of Vision Alexander on this one right now. That one is my personal dubplate of that one. Out to everyone locked in right about now. We've got a fair few of you in the chat. Should be a good one. Out to man like Jake Bob joining us. We are joined on the phone by man like MoJoe.
Hey,
how are you doing, my good friend?
Yes. All good, bro. Chilling, man. Chilling.
It's good to hear.
It's Monday morning.
The first thing we're going to say is you're the first person to appear on this show twice. So congratulations.
Hold the record.
There we go. So yeah, there's loads of stuff for us to discuss. Obviously, you joined us on the show quite early on. During lockdown, it was a period where we were still kind of getting used to the setup and we was just starting to build a bit of a reputation for the show. Obviously, it's grown a fair bit since then. So it's going to be quite cool to kind of like look over things and see how you've been. So in general, since you were last on, like how's life been?
Yeah, good. I can't complain, man. The work's picked up in the studio, extremely busy, so I'm just getting ready to put some videos out and stuff, get everyone together again, and just get back to radio as well. Looking forward to it, but yeah, it's just been busy. It's been non-stop, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
since I last spoke to you, literally.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's been a thing very much since things have sort of started to return to an extent to somewhat like a normality. What we're finding is people are now going, right, I haven't been studio in 3 months. I've got loads of stuff to do. So how did you find that kind of first influx of studio bookings?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I had someone booked 16 hours in the 1 week. And then I had, just loads of block
16 hours? Jesus.
Yeah, just coming in every day for 5 or 4. I think it was 4, yeah.
Wow.
So it's like 4. And I had another 8-hour one. I had, shitloads, man. It's been awesome. But people have been desperate, like, I've got too many messages. I'm still battling the messages. So
to try and get people in on time?
Yeah, to try and get everyone in that wants to get in, really, because the list just gets, it just keeps snowballing, really. So
definitely, man.
People are desperate to get back in.
Yeah, and I think as well the maddest thing about it is that after all this time, I think this is something that I find quite interesting. After all this time and all this madness that's been going on, so many people obviously a lot of people have lost work, a lot of people have lost opportunities or whatever. But the first thing a lot of people are thinking about is, when can I get back in the studio?
Yeah, but it's one of those things that people, it's not only is it like a kind of hobby, but it's a release for a lot of people as well. So from their daily lives or whatever, shit that's gone on because of lockdown, like you say, you're losing your job, financial insecurities and stuff like that. They just want to get back. They want to let loose.
Have you noticed a difference in the way people are approaching studio? Are people more hype when they get there? Are people more engaged with what they're doing?
I would say so, actually, yeah. I'd say the productivity's gone up, yeah. But not massively. But yeah, people are definitely excited to be there. Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Just trying to keep the crowds down,
Yeah, obviously.
How many people who are actually recording know not as many mates this time.
Yeah, I was going to say, how have you found that kind of balance? Because obviously, when people go studio, they tend to want a bit of an entourage. I find people want 2 or 3 people with them all the time. How have you found managing that?
No, it's been good. Everyone's been understanding, really. So yeah, I just said, just the people that are actually recording. But the studio's huge anyway, so we can, even with about 5-6 people in there, we can still have a meter on all of us.
There we go. Okay, cool. So we've got loads of stuff to kind of dive into, obviously, apart from the studio stuff. It's always good to catch up, though. I love hearing about what's happening at that Chameleon studio. It's one of the places I did visit quite early on during this sort of COVID adventure. Have you been making any sort of upgrades to the place, or is it pretty much still running exactly the same as it was?
Oh, well, the last time you came was when we did that kind of secret rave thing in the hall outside the studio, but that hall is now a couple of different studios. One of them's Chemist Studio, Chemist RNS, and the other one's like painters and stuff like that. So yeah, not so much the music wise, but yeah, the spaces are filling up now. So yeah, it's interesting.
Nice, man. Really nice.
How the family's kind of growing the vibe.
Yeah, I mean, what I was going to say is as well, with all of this extra sort of amount of, all these extra sort of additions to people using the studio, are you finding a lot of them are then feeding through to Chameleon like automatically, or is it like a split?
I'd say it's like a flip, like it's like it filtered through, and that's why people are kind of wanting to rent studios, and that's why Kemi's got his. And we did have a couple videographers early on, Maxwell and Ordos, rented spaces in there as well. So yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's kind of like an offshoot of what Chameleon's been doing that's kind of caused that, rather than the other side, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it kind of feeds into both sides. I think it feeds into both sides. Everyone's doing different stuff though.
Okay, cool.
So
nice, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's good to hear. It's good to hear about the productivity as much as anything else, because obviously, anyone who watches this show knows I love it when people are consistent and just working. That's the thing I love more than anything else. Watching the work rate go, and it's clear to see that that's something that at Chameleon is still pumping on. Like, in regards to like music that's been released during this period, it doesn't seem like the label itself has slowed down very much.
No, not really. I mean, we did have quite a lot of plans since the end of last year. So, we've just been trying to do what we can to keep it rolling, really. I mean, yeah, certain things obviously stop it completely, like videos and that kind of thing. But, yeah, the music can still roll, thankfully. A lot of people have got home studios and stuff like that, or they're local enough to come to the studio, finish projects. So, yeah, it's been good, yeah.
Awesome, man. I mean,
literally, it has slowed it down, though. I will admit that, definitely.
More in regards to like videos and things like that, rather than like general releases.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Rather than general releases, but yeah, they're all still there, and the plans are still there, the same plans. It's just they've got a bit more spaced out. That's it. So
nice, man. Okay, cool. I mean, with yourself as well, then, like, obviously, there's during that period where there were no studio sessions. Did you find yourself working on more of your own stuff, or was it pretty much more a time of sort of relaxation?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was working on a lot of my own stuff. I liked it, actually. It was nice. I kind of got used to it, actually, having loads of time to myself, just being able to just spend however long I want on a beat, for example, or think about some kind of concept for hours and hours without, think about who's in next the studio. So
nice.
Yeah.
How do you find that balance normally as well? Because obviously you are a producer, you are someone who understands that side of things and has had a lot of music out in different locations. Like, how do you find that process of balancing obviously what is now work to an extent, combined with you working on your own stuff, which is also work, but it's not the same sort of thing.
It's like literally one that I'm glad you've asked me that. No one's ever really asked me that, but it's something that I'm always kind of battling in my head, really, because I've kind of got to be in a certain mood or vibe. If I'm in a work mode, that I'm working for someone else and I'm trying to work on their sound, then I'm not really going to be kind of thinking about myself. So it's kind of when I've got a free day that I can concentrate on my sound. But really, I don't. Yeah, it's a strange one, really. I work rapidly on beats, and then I'll go back to them and finish them, rather than, kind of spend hours on one. I'll kind of just flash out loads of ideas.
Yeah.
Because I know I've got, for example, maybe 4 hours in the morning before I've got the first one. But it is a very hard balance. It's a very hard balance. Yeah. It's more the times when I come in and I know I haven't got to have a session straight away. I've got like 4 hours, 3 hours or something.
And then you can just crack on.
Yeah, get into the emails, get into Ableton. Yeah,
there we go. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
Awesome, man. Okay, cool. So we've got a fair few people locked in right about now. Out to Matty Davis joining us, out to Jake Bob as well. Jake Bob saying Brum people still writing bars at the start of the session.
Yeah, man.
How would you find out? Like, obviously, as an engineer, this is a question I've always actually wanted to ask an engineer, and I've never had the opportunity to do it, so I'm going to ask it right now. How do you feel about people who turn up and write their material there and then?
Well, yeah, I love it, to be honest. I love it. Big Dog Yoga, who obviously I work with closely, he usually does that. He rarely writes. He usually gets a producer, me, SK, or a beat that he's already found or been sent, you know what I mean? And then he'll write the bars all there, write the chorus, and then I'll just jump in off that. It only takes me about half an hour to do a whole song.
That's
but
nice.
he does pre-write bars, but I love it. I love it, to be honest. It's a different vibe, I think, because you can go in there 2 bars, and then your mates can say, "Oh, I don't know how that one's dropping," and we'll change that one around.
Yeah, so it's more of like a live action editing process rather than coming in specifically to do the thing.
Yeah, and that is more when people have got the time. People like Yogo can just write a whole tune. As soon as they've got that click idea on the chorus, they've got the bars just spill out their head. But yeah, he's lucky. Most people aren't like that, but
yeah, definitely. I always find that the writing process tends to actually be the longest part for a lot of people. Like that tends to be the bit that people are going, oh, I need to make sure that's right. There's so much editing
100%.
involved. But there we go. Right, let's jump into the first banger on today's listing. Then this one, going by the name of Cuba Libre. Talk to me about this tune.
Nice. Well, I've been listening to a lot of Latin music, and I've just been hearing samples as I've been going along, and it just came out. To be honest, I didn't plan to make it or anything. It just came out. It's kind of runs in the same vein as Havana from the first West EP, and this is obviously on the second West EP, which was out last week. So yeah, man, I just want everyone to hear it, really, see what they think. There should be some vocals coming to it as well.
There we go. Good stuff.
Yeah, man, just a little rap diddly.
Good stuff. Right, we're gonna get into this one now. Then we're live on Cubcam TV and of course Trickstar Radio as well. Out to the locked in crew. Let us know where you're locked in from. Let us know if you have any questions specifically for MoJoe as well. We'll ask them towards the end of the interview. But if you are locked in, throw a like on the video. If it's your first time locking in, please do hit subscribe on the channel. It makes a massive difference every single time. So hit that button down there that's just popped up on the screen. And yeah, let us know how you are feeling this morning, my friends. Keep it locked.
La que bestializa a los hombres, la que la convierte en fieras sedientas de sangre que están dispuestas a degollar, a asesinar, a destruir hasta la última imagen de un revolucionario, de un partidario de un régimen que haya caído bajo su bota o que luche por su libertad. MoJoe.
Friends, we're back inside the building. That one coming from man like MoJoe, going by the name of Cuba Libre. We are live on Cubcam TV, and we're having a bit of a chat about different projects and things that are on the way. Out to Calm Stiege, out to WT4Y. Jake Bob saying he's locked in from the Specsavers in Leicester. Good stuff. Out to WT4Y saying he's locked in from Manchester as well. As I said before, please do get your chats in. Let us know where you're locked in from. Let us know if you're enjoying the show. Jake Bob says, what is your favourite studio memory?
Oh my god. Oh my god. He's just gonna have me thinking here now.
I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll come back to that at the end of the show, and then we'll revisit that one as we go. Obviously with yourself then, you've mentioned about having a few kind of projects on the way and a few bits that are kind of that are bubbling away. So like what's the next what's on the way from yourself then? Have you got like a bit of a schedule?
Yeah, well we've got the Yogo album next. That's pretty exclusive news. I think I've said it on socials maybe, but yeah, it's like 100% produced by me, 100% vocal by Yogo, but it's got J-Bob's on it, Popsy's on it. There's a couple of people from Birmingham on it. So yeah, that's the next big push. Really.
Nice, man. Like,
but we've got loads more instrumental releases planned, but I just don't want to say too much specific.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
grime instrumentals are coming again.
I was going to say with the Yoga Cop, not the Yoga Cop, with the Big Dog Yogo album. How long has that been in the works? Because I know he's someone you work with very closely and have done for a long period of time.
Yeah, well, it was kind of born from I was producing obviously, and then I'd show him first because I see him multiple times a week, and then he was like, yeah, can I jump on this? And I'd just give it to him. So we'd be like, yeah, we'll do that as a single. And I think they started around when we did our last single, so December. So yeah, since December really we've been just recording tunes here and there and been thinking, yeah, we could do that as a single, and we thought we've got like 10 plus tunes, so we might as well just pick the best and make an album out of it,
There we go.
And then do singles around the album, so...
Awesome, man. Like, how have you found that process then? Because obviously you've worked on a fair few albums over the years for different people and like different projects. Like, how have you found this one has differed from other projects?
Well, yeah, just kind of like I said, exactly. It's just how it was born, just completely naturally, to be honest. There was no plan behind the album. It was just, I was making tunes, showing them him before anyone else really, and then he was snatching them up, to be honest. So, and then they became singles, and then when we thought, there's too much, let's just turn it into an album. Really, every other kind of album has been planned, really. It's like, I want to do an album, so we'll go from there, whereas this is completely the opposite, really.
Yeah, nice.
So,
well,
it's been good.
It's kind of cool to hear as well. Like when you get people coming into the studio, like how often are people there working on a specific project, or do you tend to find that people come to the studio specifically to do you find people tend to work on singles or albums more?
Yeah, I would say singles. I think. I'd say 9 times out of 10 it is singles, to be honest. Obviously, the more professional the artist, as in the more they live off their craft, they don't have another job, or they're not just starting up or doing it as a hobby, then they're going to be more kind of focused on a project or a string of releases, like I want to do this single and then I'm going to do that single. But yeah, really, it's just kind of more or less, it's just kind of random, and people are just getting a vibe and just making singles, really. I think it's really single orientated, you know what I mean? With music video kind of culture, like everyone just wants a banger single until they're blowing up, and then they can think, okay, I'll do an album, might sign with someone.
I think in the current climate, we are in a very single orientated climate, as you said. We're in, especially with vocal stuff. We're in a we're in a period of time now where it's all about getting that video that bangs. It's all about getting that new music Friday placement. It's all about the one tune doing well. Do you find when you are bringing people into the studio, do you find that kind of changes how they go about the recording process?
I do like to work with everyone how they work, you know what I mean? For example, if they want to do layers, or if they just want to do one vocal and some ad-libs or something, for example, that way I just want to work with them how they're comfortable, how they want their sound to come out. But I do like to try and give people whatever advice I can give them, you know what I mean? Like promotion-wise and release-wise, and you could buy the beat for this so it could go on Spotify, or you could get your own producer, or I can introduce you to this producer and he could, you know what I mean, you could build a relationship, and then you can both eat off the Spotify money instead of just slapping it out there on whatever Mixtape Madness.
I think
Mixtape Madness just get the, they get the ad money off YouTube, and then you don't really see any of it. So
well, I think
give them that.
I was going to say, with all of those platforms, I think the point behind them a lot of the time is that you get the thing on there, and that's what moves people over to your tune on Spotify. It's not necessarily about getting those YouTube views. Obviously, it's good if you can get 500k on your own channel or get 1 million views on your own channel, because that's more money for yourself.
Precisely.
But I think with those platforms, they're almost like if you've got something, if you're at a level where they want to take your stuff on and you not have to pay for it, a lot of the time it makes sense to get that initial boost if you don't already have the channel set up yourself. And it's quite like a useful, almost like almost like lily pad kind of way of getting your stuff out there a little bit more. But I'm just going to run through a few of these comments because there's a fair few floating around. Out to I'm Not Jose Luis Gaia saying he's locked in from Malaga. Big up MoJoe and Jake Bob. Out to Matty Davis saying he's locked in from Leicester today. Hope everything's okay up in Leicester. I hope it sounds like a bit of a madness, so I hope it's okay.
I can't believe that.
It's madness, man. I'm out to Jamie Hancock's as well. Out to BL saying there's no need in 2020 to put out a full album even if you are signed. The best of the best play the algorithm game. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think maybe he's right, to be honest. I think singles are actually the best, and that's maybe why I've personally been kind of putting more singles out through Chameleon, as it's kind of like we'll just throw it out there, and then, you know, I think it has came to this point though where an album is the best thing to do now, as we've done so many singles, and there is going to be another album later in the year as well. I'm not going to drop a name on it yet, but there's another album as well. So I think it's album time.
I think that's the thing of it as well. It's not. I don't necessarily think there's no point in putting an album out there, but there's no point in putting an album out there if you don't already have a strong following from singles. I feel that's where we are now. Like, you can't drop an album and the album be the thing that makes you pop anymore, which is what kind of used to happen.
Yeah, exactly, and that would have been a weird approach in these times. But yeah, definitely. Like, for example, Jake Bob's album. He had loads of singles out before, and he's been dropping them slowly over the course as well, and it's just banging. People love it, and it's a fucking amazing album. So that was the perfect move, I think.
Yeah, I think as always with everything, it's about balance, and I think it's about not leaning entirely towards one thing, making your platform and your approach applicable to multiple different avenues. Like having the good music video on one of those channels is automatically going to up your viewership and up your following, which means more people will then see what you're doing in regards to the music you're releasing. And I think that is very much an idea. Obviously, if you can get a bit of popularity popping off the back of singles. And then a good example of this would be like a Heady One or someone like that, who literally just went single for like 3 years, and then he drops the album and the album absolutely bangs because he's built up such a good reputation from doing all those singles. So I think someone's just put in the chat saying nowadays people don't have a long enough attention span. People love a single, and I agree with you. So it's a case. I think it's a case more than anything else of earning people's trust. When you have to have that trust of people before you put the album out there for them to want to engage with it.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, so it's acting when it's necessary, if you know what I mean. Maybe if that makes sense, you know. Yeah. So when you've got a little cult of followers going, get the album out there, then you know what I mean. But too many rappers just go, first, this is my first tune, I'm going to put it on Grime Daily, and hopefully I get 1 million views. You know what I mean?
It's so rarely happens.
You're not going to send it to any DJs. You're not going to kind of put some on your own channel. You're not going to do some promo on socials, make some socials. Some of them don't even have socials, and I'm just like, bro, come on.
Do you find that side of things frustrating when you're talking to people in the studio?
No, I don't think so, because people aren't like I don't know. They're not opposed to it, you know what I mean? So whenever I say, you know, you could do this or he does that, so it's impacted it that way, they'll just take it on most of the time, and it's positive, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, I mean, I like helping people.
I was going to say, there's this undercurrent of being an engineer. There's this undercurrent of being an engineer where you are almost like, to an extent, you're almost like a bit of a manager without being a manager a lot of the time.
Yeah, like a de facto kind of manager on the time that they book you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can give them whatever advice and stuff like that, and you're gonna, you're right. You are right.
It's quite an interesting one to look at. Okay, cool. So Jake Bob's reminded me, make sure he answers the studio memory question, which also may include Sub-Z.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Yeah, there was one time we was doing a set with I think it was the guy I did Hotbox with. His name's Kurt Cannon. And we were doing like a grime set, DJ free, with JK, Socks, loads. It was mainly Invasion, but yeah, Subsy was there. He was a bit twisted, and he ended up spilling his drink on the fucking electric boards, and ended up fusing the whole the whole building. It's definitely not a best memory, but he drawed it out, so I'll give it him.
There we go. What, he ended up turning the building off, basically.
Yeah, basically, and we had to like leave it out, kind of try and dry it, and then it actually worked. It just worked when we just tripped the switch again. It worked. So.
Madness, absolute madness. I bet that was a heart in mouth moment though.
Yeah. He passed me a blunt and a drink, and then he just fucked off. I was just gobsmacked, like, what the fuck? Everything's dark. Everyone's like, what? He just passes me this drink and blunt and just goes, oh, sorry, bro, and just walks off. Oh, God.
Oh, brilliant. There we go. I was going to say, that must have been a heart-in-mouth moment when suddenly everything just goes boom.
Oh, God, yeah. Fucking hell. I nearly had a heart attack. That's why I was just, like, gobsmacked, like, what the fuck?
How'd you react to this?
I saw a drink on the floor after he'd fucked off, and I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Madness. Madness. Okay, cool. So we've only got a few minutes left because I want to make sure we fit in at least one more tune from the selection. So let's kind of look to the future then across all different platforms. Obviously, you're working with a lot of studio scenarios right now. You're working with a lot of MCs, a lot of producers in regards to Chameleon and stuff. But what's like the general big picture looking like for the team over at Chameleon over the next sort of 6 to 12 months?
6 to 12 months. Obviously, there's going to be 2 albums. The next release is going to be said album. Obviously the vinyl release that I mentioned before. There are more singles there, but they're going to take a bit of a backseat. And yeah, some more EPs as well, some more Signs EP series. And we need to get back to the social club events. We need to get back to the events, man, because that was a big vibe last year. And as soon as the club's open again, I don't know when that's going to be, but we're going to get onto that again, definitely,
man. Like, how important do you think? Because Chameleons are very much like kind of essentially like a crew kind of focused label. Like it's a group of you. You know, it's not just like random release from this, but like everyone seems to know each other to an extent. Like, how important are those kind of social meetups and events?
Yeah, definitely, they're massive as well. And when we used to do our shows on Mode, that was like, there's some amazing times, some legendary sets, you know what I mean? And that got some good collabs going together, for example, and some future releases are made out of those. So it's all, it is very integral that we get back to the radio as well, which is another thing I was going to say.
Yeah, like how important is radio?
Family thing, isn't it? So
I was going to say, how important is radio to Chameleon?
A lot of people, we've met through radio. Going to radio with you, going to Mode, like guest mixes the early days and stuff, going up to Sheffield, that's really been an integral part in meeting people that you can vibe with, because how do you really know someone before you meet them, if you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's kind of based off that, really. I guess it's a big crew because we've all met through live or radio or something, and then we've kept in contact, and everyone knows each other. It's just kind of organic, but it just balloons, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, man, of course.
It's a vibe. I love radio, like we all do as well.
It's something that's kind of like it's kind of integral to how everything's come together as well. It is very much like it's almost to an extent it's like the bloodline of underground music in the UK is almost defined by radio activity. It's the oxygen in the blood, I feel, of the scene. Out to I'm Not Lewis Guy and Jake Bob both talking about studio naps. You want to take that one, because I have no idea.
What's that?
He says, loves a good nap around 3ish, our MoJoe. And then Jake Bob says, studio naps are essential for the future of the label.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone napping on that sofa. I think there's a picture of everyone been taken asleep in the studio.
I've slept on that sofa.
Yeah, exactly.
I've just realised I've had a nap on that sofa, so fair enough.
I don't think anyone's napped more than me on that sofa, but yeah. I think that time that Popsy didn't know what a sleeping bag was on that sofa was the funniest time, though, to be honest. When J Bob had to kind of instruct him into the sleeping bag. It was a high event.
That sounds absolutely hilarious. Right then, we unfortunately we've run out of time. We're having a good time this morning, but we have run out of time. We're going to finish up with another tune from yourself. Now this one goes by the name of Overproof. Talk to me about this one.
Again, like it's just another sample that I found, and I was just mesmerised by this tune, man. So I just thought, I'm going to flip it. I don't know what I'm going to do to it, but I just put it into Ableton, and it just came out again. But I thought I want towards a vocal, but then I thought, instead of like trying to send it to people and wait weeks and weeks, I just thought I'd put it out as kind of a rap challenge thing. I've never done one of those things, but I just thought it'd be interesting to try. So yeah, man, and a lot of people have sent me videos and voice notes and stuff and of them spitting to it. There has been a couple of tunes recorded to it actually as well, and they'll be coming out.
Awesome. So
well,
there we go.
Yeah,
all right, dude. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on this morning. As always, good to chat, good to catch up.
Thanks for having me.
One time, best social media tag for people to get hold of you on?
At MoJoe CA, so MoJoe CA, and that's on everything literally.
Amazing
except
stuff.
for Bandcamp, it's just MoJoe.
Lovely. Right, okay, cool. We're going to finish up there. We're going to be jumping on the phone with man like Calm Stiege in about 3 minutes or so. So keep it locked, my friends. Out to everyone locking in right now. What should we say? Throw a W in the chat. Go on. Everyone locking in right now, throw a W in the chat. Let's just get some figures popping. And if it's your first time locking in, of course, please do hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this one, and we will speak soon, MoJoe.
Peace, brother. Nice one, man.
Como dulce tomeguire, cantan la vuelta vaquera. En la llanura habanera, entre madrugas y güines. MoJoe.
There we go, my friends. Massive shouts out to MoJoe for the last half an hour or so. Always good to have him on the show. It's good to catch up as well. As I said before, unfortunately, the first show we did together actually got dragged down due to copyright, and I'm really hoping that doesn't happen again, because that'd just be really, really bad luck. But we are now moving into our second guest of the day. Man like Calm Stiege joins us on the phone. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Hi. Yeah, I'm not doing badly. My girlfriend dragged me into doing a workout this morning, so my legs are aching a bit. But...
I was going to say, like, I've seen a lot of people doing these lockdown workouts. Like, how do you find them as a way of waking up? Because I always find if I did like a workout in the morning, I'm shattered.
Yeah, I started off really well with it. I really got into it, but like I've proper sort of dropped off recently, and like my girlfriend would do it, and she would like get up at like 9 or 10. I like do it. Shows how much I'm doing in the day that I'm thinking of that as early. But like she will be like, "Oh, I'm doing it." I'm like, "Yeah, next time." But these days, like I literally can't get the energy to do it anymore. Like this is the first time I've done it for a while.
Okay,
it's a good one.
Nice, man. I mean, in regards to like doing stuff like that, have you found yourself getting busy with a lot of the more sort of I want to say lockdown activities over the past few months?
Yeah, I'd say so. I did a lot of jogging. I tried to do that couch to 5k thing, like, and did that like 5k challenge that everyone was doing a while ago. But then like just got bare shin splints, so like stopped. And then once you stop with those sort of things, he's like end up never doing it.
Yeah,
never,
it's
like,
always difficult to get back into.
But I definitely like tried to be healthy. Like I quit smoking over this time as well.
Oh,
so,
well done, sir. Well done. Hats off to you, sir. That's a very much
improvement.
Thank you very much. Okay, cool. We've got loads to discuss. Obviously, this is why I like doing this show, because I get to meet loads of new people and find out all about them, which should be good. So let's kind of go back to the beginning with yourself. For those that don't know, who are looking into the show for the first time, who is Calm Stiege?
Well, it's like I'm mainly just like a grime, UK funky garage DJ. So I started on grime. I went to Hull University, and my boy Tetek like got me joining the society, the DJ Society, Crystal Clear, which sort of got me into it. Which is kind of like some pretty decent alumni, like India Jordan's been there, Finn was there, and so I joined just because I wanted friends essentially, and then it's like giving me loads of opportunities, like supported like conductors, Wookie, people like that while there. But that's the uni finished now, so I could come back home to Lewisham. Been on mode now. Joined AAJA Deptford recently, and just trying to do stuff like that really.
There we go. So, like, how have you found that sort of growing process then, in regards to like becoming someone who is, I would say, a regular on radio these days? Like, how have you found that process?
Yeah, I guess it's like it sort of felt surreal at first. Like when I sort of emailed Mo to ask, I sort of just did it on a whim, just like thinking like, I may as well, like, what's the harm in doing it? And then, like, to get it's like doing it regularly, it's sort of like it becomes so normal quickly. And then, like, my friends who I knew from before would be like, oh, I see you doing this and like doing this, and what feels normal to me, there's like going, oh, that's sick. And it's so it's sort of strange in that regards. But yeah, just like trying to grab all the opportunities, and like anytime I can find an opportunity, it's worth like having a shot at it really.
Nice, man. I mean, like, obviously, with yourself then, what was the thing that kind of introduced you to these kind of genres of music then? Because obviously I would call you a grime DJ and a grime producer, but I get the feeling with yourself that there are a lot of other elements that kind of float into it.
Well, I started on grime because, like, I don't know, it's just what I grew up with, but because I was in Hull, it's like the north at least, not in like northern unis, at least not Hull, which is quite small, they weren't really like messing with it that much. So it's like if I was at parties or something and I wanted to make sure people were vibing, I realised that I sort of had to like mix it up a little bit as well. So like I think I heard like Benton play Seasons by Lil Silver, and I just like fell in love with that tune, and ended up just going heavy on UK funky. Obviously like garage was like always dipping in and out as well, so sort of mixing through like that is just like it's sort of been like growing to sort of like realise that like playing stuff that I want, but also like stuff that's actually going to pop within like the audience you're playing to.
Definitely, man. I mean, obviously with yourself, you're saying like quite early on you found yourself at sort of parties and stuff, making sure that you were playing stuff that appeals to kind of everyone, rather than just playing like straight grime sets the entire time. Like, I think for a lot of people, that sort of experience of being at parties and selecting music is kind of like that first kind of step, but you don't realise it at the time.
So I think you cut off. What did you say?
I said like when you're kind of doing that thing of choosing music for parties, that idea of selecting. That's where the idea of selection actually starts for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's definitely like important, and like especially when you're in like a house party in like a small uni as well. It's like a lot of people there aren't necessarily there for like genres that like underground genres as well, so it's sort of like it led me to like proper like digging through SoundCloud and stuff to find like sort of kind of niche but still good like pop remixes in like genres that I like, in genres I like that like people would still be down for as well. It's like realizing like the balance between what you're doing and like what your audience, wherever you are, is like so important for sure.
Definitely, man. I mean, it's cool to see, and obviously you sent over a few bangers to play for us this morning as well. We're going to get into one of them in just a second. Like, on that production side of things, when did production start being a thing for yourself? Because obviously you've spoken about kind of going in on a DJing kind of route. When did that actual production process start for yourself?
Not really too long ago, to be honest. Like, I occasionally like messed about with my boy Mothman like for a few years, but like there was literally just him like doing stuff on Ableton and me saying, "Oh, that sounds nice," sort of thing. But like actually starting myself was maybe like probably about like a year ago roughly, and then I got a scholarship from Point Blank, so I've been like doing like a production course over this year as well. So it's like taken a lot more seriously now. So, but yeah, not long at all, really.
Nice, man. I mean, talk to me about this scholarship then. Like, how did that come together?
It was like something I was aware of because I saw Taylor. I really rate Taylor J. I think she's like an amazing DJ, and I've seen that she got it like the year before. I think she was the first to get it, and then like see it. I just like kept on popping up on my Facebook like this advertisement for it again, and I just felt like it was once again like one of those situations where it was like, you may as well go for it because like what's to lose. Like at the very least I'd have experience for applying to something like that. Like I didn't really expect to get it, and like they took ages to reply, so I sort of just thought they just like I didn't get it, and they just not they only told the person who did that they got it. And then like I was just like coming back from like doing something with like my mum and my girlfriend. I think it was like a late birthday present from my mum. It was just on the train. I just look at my emails and I got it. I was like, yeah, it was just popped the message on my face. Apparently, just like went white because I just couldn't believe it.
I mean, so like with the scholarship, what does it kind of involve then? Is it a placement at a college, or is it like how does the whole setup with it work?
Yeah, so it's Point Blank Music School, which I think is part of Middlesex Uni, and like so like it was resident advisor who like did this scholarship, and it's just basically just been like a year course sort of thing that like. Which is sort of, it was involved, like, it was technically a DJ and production scholarship. So, like, I did, like, one sort of starter DJ course, which was, like, kind of weird because it was pretty much everyone doing what, like, is second nature to me, and me sort of being there, like, oh, yeah, I guess I've not done that before, not thought about that. But in general, like, it's been good. It's, like, the production side of it has been really, like, helpful. Like, I just finished a composition module, which, like, I thought it was going to be a lot more music theory, but instead it just sort of became like open forum the whole way through, and it was like made me sort of explore it in a way like I wasn't really thinking about music before. I think, yeah, it's broadened my horizons for sure.
Awesome, man. I mean, that's sick to see, and I think the fact that these kind of courses exist make like a huge difference. I think, like for myself, I went to a music college for a year and a half, and then I dropped out with about 6 months to go, purely because I found that the teaching of the course was very much, it wasn't necessarily about the aspirational approach on it was wrong for me. They were basically going along the lines of, if you make good music, things will happen, and that for me has always been a bit of a thing I've kind of disagreed with to an extent, because I think it's not just about that. There are so many other elements to it. Like, how do you find the kind of phrasing of the course, like you've been on? Like, how does it kind of prepare you mentally for music as a bigger game?
I'd say it's been good. I'd say it's been generally pretty good. Like I'm about to do a module on like the music industry, which is sort of nice to get that other side of it as well. But like I'd say in general, it's been like pretty useful in that sort of circumstance. I guess like because I think it's like it seems to be a bit more dance music orientated as well, rather than like a lot of music colleges. Like when I was doing my Ableton, I did like a start Ableton module, and like the person who did that was like was quite big in like house and breakbeat sort of stuff in like the late 90s, I think. So it's like, I guess like their knowledge of actual underground music, dance music, rather than simply just like I guess a pop element to it, sort of been useful in that sort of regard, I'd say.
Nice. Okay, cool. So let's move on to some music then, because that's what we're here to do this morning. We're here to get into some bangers. This first one coming from yourself, it goes by the name of Wano. Is it Wano or Wano?
I mean, I've been pronouncing it Wano, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I've been pronouncing it Wano because I named it after like a One Piece arc, to be honest. Like, just because like the current arc in One Piece, they're just like in basically feudal Japan. So, and like it's obviously like a Japanese sample, but yeah, I can't remember why I started it. I think it might have been starting it for a one of those jams and Jack that sample that challenges, but never got around to finishing it until like a few months ago.
Okay, cool. Right, let's get into this one then. Out to everyone locking in right about now, if you are locked into the show, please do throw a like on the video, and of course hit subscribe if it's your first time locking into the channel. You can do that by clicking that button right there. And we are live on the line with Stiege right about now. If you've got any questions, please do let us know. Anything about the course, anything about the music we're going to be playing. If you are locked in, please do send us a signal and let us know how you're feeling. It's Brekky In The Cave. We're live on Trickstar Radio and of course Cubcam TV. Keep it locked. Right then, friends, we're back inside the building. This one coming from Stiege, who joins us on the phone this morning. Out to my locked-in crew. Everyone locked in right about now, please do throw a like on the video and of course hit that subscribe button. We've got about 13 minutes left of the show. It's been a very enjoyable start to the week today. I've got to say, out to everyone who has been locked in. I've been clocking the numbers. It's been looking good. It's been looking very fun indeed. The channel is growing, of course. We are trying to hit that big 600 by the end of the week and then hopefully hit 1,000 within the next 100 days. That's the plan anyway. We're on the line with Stiege. Let's kind of talk about the future then, because we've got about 10 minutes, as I said, we've got about 10 minutes left and I want to kind of dive into what's the plan for yourself. So in regards to working on radio and things like that, that's something you're very much carrying on with?
Yeah, for sure. I think hopefully Mode will be back soon, probably in a few months. And obviously I've started with AAJA Deptford. Kind of nice to have something like a lot more local as well to go to. So I'm just sort of keep on with that. I think hopefully I'm going to start like making like going into like a YouTube sort of thing as well, potentially like recording mixes like video and stuff and putting them on there. But radio definitely is a must for me. I want to try and get like more MCs when like studios are back and stuff like that as well. Like I've not really done too much like MC sort of sets, so I sort of want to get into that a bit more.
Okay, cool. So really for yourself then, it sounds like you just want to expand on what you're already doing as much as anything. You want to do more radio, you want to expand that radio experience.
Yeah, literally, like, I think, yeah, because, like, I sort of made the decision that, like, this, I've sort of made the decision it's more than just a hobby at this point. Like, I want to try and make something from it. So you sort of have to, like, really, I'm sort of trying to push myself, really. Like, I was planning to do an event, like, around the summertime before lockdown happened. But so hopefully next year I'll get into, like, doing events, because I'd started an events thing in Hull, like, in my last year of uni, which, like, my boys Nax and Dextra carried on in there. So I'm hoping to sort of bring that event sort of thing to London as well. So
nice, man. I mean, if you're talking about events here, like, what sort of thing are you looking to do? Kind of like just a more sort of club night sort of approach, a sort of pop-up thing? Like, what's the sort of idea?
I think probably like a club night sort of thing, but definitely on like a small scale. Like, don't necessarily want it to be like a big club at all. Like, really, like, my favourite, I think you were saying the same thing earlier, just like the best sort of nights are definitely like those sort of 50 to 100 capacity where it's packed and everyone's just on good vibes sort of thing. That's definitely what I'm looking for.
Definitely, man. I think that's to an extent it almost kind of gets lost. I feel that idea of having a sort of smaller scale but more full event. That's where the vibes are. And as a DJ, something that I've always said is the best venues are the ones where you can see the front row's eyes, the whites of the front row's eyes. That's always been a thing for me, because you can then genuinely engage with them. They're not miles away. It's not like a difficult thing to kind of work out what they're doing.
For sure.
Like
it's almost like a house party, really. Sort of thing. Like,
that's that. I mean, that's what we want to see.
Yeah, especially when you're on, like, when you're literally like on a stage and you're above. It's sort of like you sort of like see it from a different view where, like, it looks like there's not as much energy as well, I find. Yeah,
and I feel being on the same level as well to an extent is quite an important thing. If you can be obviously a little bit raised, but if you can be at a point where you can see the actual movement of the crowd, you can see them moving up and down. That for me is something that is very important as well. Let's kind of look through what would be an ideal 5 DJ lineup for yourself.
5 DJ lineup. Oh, that's put me on the spot.
That's what we do here on the show, my friend.
I mean, I put myself on it because I just barely love DJing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But if I took myself out of the equation...
Oh, no, keep yourself on, sir. It's your ideal list.
Yeah, okay. I'll put myself on it then. That's number 1. Potentially, as I said, Taylor J. I think she's super sick. I think she's so good. And, like, I feel like she does sort of similar thing with me where it's like... where she sort of will go through genres like so well and like have everything playing almost. So I'd have Taylor J. Who else would I have? I think Spooky. Spooky is, every time I've seen Spooky, I've like literally like my knees have been aching so much afterwards, like just from jumping around. That's 3. And then it is a tough one, you know. Maybe I'd probably get like I'd like get Jams on a set as well. Like I think Jams is so sick. So like Jams on with like maybe Jams on Spooky, actually, to be fair, while we're there. I'm trying to get like a nice range as well. Spooky for 2 hours, 1 single and 1 with Jams on it, and then potentially, Lord, my brain is
it's hit the melt point. All right, let's switch this up a bit. Let's switch this up a bit. You can pick a group of MCs to join the lineup as well.
Then Jams, Capo Lee, I want Elf Kid to come back. Like,
what happened to Elf Kid?
Golden Boy was, I don't know. I feel like he fully could have popped off and like he just disappeared. Like Golden Boy is like that tune that like I've not known anyone to not like it. Like that's a tune that like would always pop off wherever I've been like and played it. I'd definitely have Elf Kid, Logan as well. Logan's sick. Probably like Cabs and Razor as well.
Nice. There we go. I mean, this is all quite cool to hear, and obviously if you're moving into that event side of things, it's quite good to get a sort of gauge on the artists that you would like to work with, because then you can kind of work out what the lineups are going to be based around, like what you can get from those kind of names. And I think more than anything else, especially when, shall we say, raving returns, to put it in a funny way, I think we're going to see a fair few kind of mega lineups.
Yeah, it's gonna be strange. Like, yeah, there's definitely gonna be. You got to think that like people like Boiler Room and Keep Hush are gonna come through with some crazy lineups once they're back, just on the high. And then, yeah, I think there's gonna be some ridiculous lineups. I think like I almost feel like sometimes lineups are just like they're too big almost. Like when you go to an event where it's like 3 stories and there's like 15 artists you want to see, and you have to pick 4 of those people. It's like I'm more times than not, I'm pretty happy to sort of go to an event where it's like 4 local artists who are like maybe running the night or something, and 1 like good artist that we're like I'm there to see. So almost like
your headliner,
more hype to listen to it.
Your headliner essentially.
Pardon?
Your headliner, essentially.
Yeah. Like I sort of like that sort of aspect where it's like you're there for that guy and you're excited for them, and it's like you're hearing other people just like now getting a chance as well underneath them, and like it's ramping up the excitement to hear this person as well. I think it's like sort of leads to quite like I guess like an explosion of euphoria.
It's a crescendo, you know. It's the crescendo of the evening. Okay, cool. Well, I've got to say we've nearly run out of time on this morning show. The show has sped by today. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has been locked in. I know a fair few of you have been here for over an hour already. So big up you guys. As I said before, please do hit subscribe and throw a like on the channel. So, Calm Stiege, before we do finish up, what's the next thing to happen for yourself? Like, what's the thing we can expect next following this show?
I think it's just like hopefully produce just music output really. Like I think I'm starting to get to the point where I feel like the quality is getting there, to the point where like I'm gonna start like sort of messaging labels and stuff, like sending demos out and stuff. So I think it's definitely like a production side that I'm really focusing on at the moment. It's sort of hard to think of anything else while it's locked down as well, to be fair. But yeah, hopefully like lots of new music. Like some of the music like I sent you that's like not released. That one tune like I released very briefly on Bandcamp Day, but I've deleted it now because I just wanted to be a part of it really. But that's going to come back with like a music video hopefully in the future as well. Like nothing fancy, just like my friend's editing something for that. Nice.
Good stuff, man. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to round off here. We've got one more tune to play from yourself. This one goes by the name of I or A. I think it's A or I.
Yeah, A.
There you go. So we're going to get into this one now. Talk to me about this one before we finish up.
Like I said, I go with like lots of different genres. So when I've been producing, I've sort of like whatever I've sort of been listening to, I get the itch to sort of try that out, sort of thing. So it's sort of like kind of drilly one, but it's like a bit skippy at the same time. Like basically just utilizing the hi-hat flow for like the pattern, then just put like the vocal over it to sort of get that pattern on it. There, it's it's not usually my usual style, but I'm not gonna lie, I was bare gassed when I produced it.
Nice, man. Okay, cool. Well, we're gonna finish up here. Then we're gonna play this one time. What is the best social media tag for people to get hold of you on?
Pretty much Facebook, Twitter, Insta. It's all like literally just Calm Stiege, CALMSTIEGE. You can find me on literally Facebook, Insta, Twitter. Twitter's probably where I most talk about music. You'll also find me talking about politics and stuff. Yeah. Instagram is probably my best social, just in terms of like amazing content.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
Stiege, yeah.
Right then, we're going to finish up there, my friends. Thank you to everyone who's been locked in this morning. I'm just going to run through a few of these. Socials for myself, you can catch me on Instagram, of course, Facebook, as well as Twitter, and of course SoundCloud. All of those, you can find me at Cub KXVU, as you can see in the top right-hand corner. The podcast for this show will be going up in around an hour or so. You can catch that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud as well. Just search Breakfast with Kovu, the interviews. And finally, a quick word from our sponsors, Sharpen Digital. Essentially, they are... I don't know why that's not playing. Are you going to play? There you are. You should play. Sharpen Digital, I'll get the telly to work. They are the alternative to hiring social media managers, as you can see. Have helped me a lot with the growing of this channel, and it's made a massive difference. So if you've got a project you're working on, do go and hit them up. They are the official sponsor for Brekky In The Cave. And of course, hit that subscribe button, throw a like on the video. We're going to finish up with this one titled A from Man Like Calm Stiege in the building, and we will see you next time. Peace.
Nice one, thanks.
Weekday.